Please tell us about our RRF program in Romania. What is the state of play of the last payment request submitted by Romanian government within the RRF on December 15, 2023, and when could we expect the approval?
Oh, thank you for the question. So indeed, in December of last year, Romania submitted its third payment request in the context of its recovery plan. This was a request for 2 billion in grants and loans, and it concerns a total of 68 milestones and 6 targets. We're currently assessing this third payment request, and we continue to work with the Romanian authorities, as we do with all member states. And once we have finalized our assessment, we will, when the work is done, we will communicate about this, as we do for all member states.
Yeah, according to the initial calendar, the 16th of March 2024 was the, the deadline for this payment request approval. Why was the decision delayed in comparison with this calendar?
Well, you should know that at the time when the Romanian authorities submitted the third payment request, they already requested an extension by 1 month of the assessment period of the Commission. And in addition, Romania requested an additional 1 month extension. So this means that in mutual agreement between Romania and the Commission, the assessment process of this payment request has been extended by 2 months.
All right. So we expect another 2 months we should expect another 2 months for the approval, you say?
What I'm saying is that there has been a further extension of this 2 month of the assessment process. Indeed.
Mm-hmm. What are the milestones and targets not met under these payment requests so far?
Again, I'm afraid I won't be able to comment much on this because as long as our assessment has not been concluded, we cannot communicate on any of the individual measures included in the third payment request. But as soon as our assessment has been endorsed a preliminary assessment has been endorsed by the Commission, we will communicate about this, as we do for all member states.
Mm-hmm. But tell us about the tax on revenue of micro-enterprises in Romania. What did the European Commission request? Did they request to lower the turnover threshold from 500,000 euros to 50,000 euros, or another threshold or another requirement on this issue?
Again, as I just said, we do not comment on any individual measures included in a payment request. So we will come forward with our final assessment, and at that moment in time, we will also communicate on it.
Yeah. So what's next? So far, what's next on this payment request?
So the next step is really for us to complete our preliminary assessment of this third payment request. And then in terms of what happens more generally, I can maybe recall the general framework. Once the Commission has endorsed a preliminary assessment, it would then send its assessment to the Economic and Financial Committee, which has 4 weeks to deliver its opinion. And the actual payment to a member state would then take place following the opinion from the Economic and Financial Committee and the adoption of a final payment decision by the Commission.
Yeah, you said that this payment request is 2 billion euros, but in our internal communication in Romania, the government communicated that it is 2.7 billion euros. So what is the exact figure?
So it's 2 billion net of pre-financing, because as you may know, Romania received pre-financing, and I think it amounted to 4.1 billion in all. So basically pre-financing before any payment requests were made to kickstart the implementation of the measures included in the Recovery and Resilience Plan. And so the 2 billion is the amount net of this pre-financing.
Okay, apart of this payment request number 3, Romania already received 9.4 billion euros under the RRF. What is the degree of expenditure or absorption of this amount? What are the risks if Romania does not spend all the amounts received under the RRF? What is the exact, let's say, time frame for this implementation of the plan?
Well, what is important to understand is that this instrument, so the Recovery and Resilience Facility, is a time-limited instrument. So all the milestones and the targets must be achieved by the end of August 2026, and any payment to be made under the RRF, it must be executed at the last payment by the end of 2026. So that's really important to keep in mind. As you rightly say, so to date, Romania has received 9.4 billion in RRF funds, which amounts to about a third of the overall RRF funds that Romania is entitled to.
So what if out of these 9.4 billion euros, Romania doesn't succeed to spend the entire amount? What would happen?
Well, I think what is important to recall is that the RRF is a performance-based instrument. So what does this mean? That payments are linked to the fulfillment of milestones and targets, and not to the actual costs incurred by a member state. So milestones and targets are the gradual implementation of the reforms and investments which are included in the Romanian Recovery and Resilience Plan. So the actual implementation of the measures linked to the plan falls within the remit of the member state.
So you say that it's important that Romania should implement the reforms and investments, not to spend the money. So not spending is the money is the main goal, let's say.
Well, I think what is really important, you can see the Recovery and Resilience Plan, as for any other member state, as a contract between the EU and the member state. It lays out reforms and investments, and the member states will receive the funds which it is entitled to, or under the Recovery and Resilience Plan, if it actually implements the reforms and investments which have been agreed.
Would you please help us with the general state of play for the RRF? Where is Romania right now in terms of implementing the plan? You already said that 1/3 of the plan is executed, so the amount of the money allocated are taken. What is the situation in other countries, let's say?
Yeah, I think this question comes very timely because we have conducted a so-called midterm evaluation. So where do we basically seeing where the RRF stands halfway through its lifetime. And so to recall, I mean, the Recovery and Resilience Facility, as you know, it's basically the centerpiece of the 800 billion Next Generation EU recovery plan. It's the EU's plan to emerge stronger from the pandemic, transform our economies and societies, and design a Europe that really works for everyone. And what we see is that halfway through its lifetime, the RRF continues to make a difference, and on the ground across the EU, and that the implementation of the facility is well underway. I can, for example, highlight that to date over 225 billion has already been disbursed under this instrument. And of course, it is important that all member states ensure timely implementation of what was agreed in the contract, given the time-limited nature of the member states. Many member states have already submitted payment requests, and we see some delays across the EU. Obviously, what we do is we monitor the situation. We also stand ready to really help member states in addressing any implementation bottlenecks, and we're also obviously engaged in a continuous and constructive dialogue with all the member states to make sure that they deliver ultimately on this ambitious reform and investment agenda. And as you rightly said, indeed, so to date Romania has received already 9.4 billion, so a third of the RRF funds. This includes the pre-financing of 4.1 billion and to payment requests amounting to 5.3 billion. And the RRF has already triggered the implementation of major reforms, such as in the area of energy, sustainable transport in Romania. So what I want to highlight is that indeed the plan and the Romanian plan already has brought about positive change both for citizens and for businesses in Romania. We also see, for example, measures to ensure equal access to quality education and care, which have already been implemented. There has been support for the construction of creches, for schools to reduce early school leaving. And more broadly, the plan helps to improve the quality of life of people in Romania. It promotes sustainable growth, renovation of buildings. It helps combat pollution, traffic congestion, and supports quality infrastructure for health and education. And the competitiveness of businesses is also promoted in this plan, tackling skills shortages, supporting more digital, greener business practices, and also access for SMEs to finance.